Hey man, what's up?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. I'm so sorry that my life is so insane. It's like these 2 weeks, the kids getting out of school and
Oh yeah.
transitioning into my summer is insane.
Wow. 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 I know I could see by your emails, like you don't got a minute rest.
No, I mean, I mean, thank God it's a good problem to have. Like, my Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays are like literally 14-hour days, like 8 to 10, no breaks.
Wow. So
But,
we originally got together when I was photographing for Metal Forces magazine, and we did White Fox at the China Club. I don't even know what year it was.
I
We,
know.
tell me how much different is music business now compared back then?
Holy cow. Well, for me, it hasn't really changed much because I didn't make any money back then, and I'm still not making any money now. But, but, I mean, my God, just like back then, you just did everything to try to get the record deal, and then you'd have your cassettes, and then even when Heaven Sent got signed in '90, it's so different now. It's
Right.
there's no physical copies of everything. Although vinyl is making a strong comeback. We've had a lot of requests for vinyl.
Right.
That's definitely.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I know,
But
everybody's looking for vinyl, and they're doing like different kind of colors and splatter and all that
yeah,
stuff. Like you know, I guess it's interesting if you're a collector. You
it
know,
is. And you know what? I was watching what's his name? DeLeo from
oh
STP.
yeah,
He
yeah,
just did, yeah, he just did Robert. He just did an interview. I didn't realize he was with the songwriter for STP, like the bass player. He writes a lot of this stuff, and but he just released a record, and he was just saying everything I feel about vinyl. It's just so great to hold it. You look
right,
at it, you see who played on the songs, you see the producers. Like now, you don't know who played on what song.
right, yeah.
And
Wow, wow.
so I definitely like vinyl. I don't even have a record player. I definitely like having everything on my phone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow. Now,
But
a lot of people don't even use discs anymore, and
no,
the computers don't even got a disc, a drive anymore.
neither do cars.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
Like it's crazy. You know.
it's
So,
everything's is streaming or on a hard drive or something.
but yeah, wow. You like the streaming?
Um, I mean, I'm not like John Mayer, who's getting 16 million streams and getting a $20 paycheck. So,
Right.
I don't. So I guess yeah, the streaming is fantastic because it really has. Doing this last record, my drummer Dave, he's in the industry, so he watches all those numbers and subscribers and streaming and that really it's for a little band like us to be able to like reach the world is
Right.
fantastic.
Right.
So I guess it is a good thing for us.
Right. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Because like you could make the record today, and people could have it today.
Exactly. It's
Right.
just awesome,
I
and
agree.
I love that aspect of it.
Right. Yeah. I just don't like the aspect of not holding something in my hand. A
I
CD
know.
album. I wanna read the lyrics and like everything. I just don't want to have it. Oh, I could hear it, but like I can't make out all the words. I want to read. This way I could get that feeling of what you wrote. You know.
Exactly. Right. And
But
it's just neat to look at the pictures. Like, I can't tell you how many times I stared at Deep Purple's Made in Japan and just like studied Richie Blackmore's amp and
yeah,
just it's just awesome.
yeah. But
So,
did you
so
ever?
how, oops, go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Now, how you been?
Good. I'm doing good.
Uh,
I retired, so I got all the time in the world. You
Good
know.
for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Did you ever think White Fox would lead to Heaven's Edge?
Um, it's funny. So I had done another interview this morning, and I had moved out to California to try to make it because that's where things were happening.
Right.
Came home. I joined a band called Mansfield out there with the late Pete Preston, and I replaced Doug Aldrich, who's now like going on to like international fame with
Right.
Whitesnake and stuff.
Yeah.
And failed miserably. Came home, and I just wanted to keep active. I always felt like if I just kept playing, I would meet more people. So I came up and joined a band called Buff the Musket. Very embarrassing name, but very talented band. From there, I joined White Fox, which had a bigger following. And because of White Fox, we opened up for a band called Network, who was the biggest cover band in this area, cover / original, and Mark was the bass player. And so because of that meeting, at the time I was like, oh, Mark would never leave Network for me, and I gave his wife a cassette of a song I'd written, and she passed it on to him, and it clicked right off the top. And I think in our first 17 songs that we wrote, Skin to Skin and Find Another Way, were in that 17. And so we knew we had a good chemistry, and he left the band, I left White Fox. So right out of the box, we had a nice reputation. Things were really exploding at the beginning. Like, we were selling out, like, as soon as we started. Reggie and Mark from their respective bands, and the ride up was special, was unbelievable. The ride down was painful.
Wow, yeah, I bet you. When you look at pictures of back in the day and stuff like that, and things you're wearing on stage, what goes through your mind?
Well, it's so funny. Your pictures come up so much, and my students just rip on me. They're like, "Are you wearing pajamas?" Like, and there's one picture where I'm like with my mouth open, like, and
yeah.
oh my God, if I could tell you how many people ripped on me for that picture. And I was going to say I should tell Brian to take it down, but you know what? It's part of my journey, and if you can't make fun of yourself, then it's not worth it, right?
Right. But that's the way it was back then. Everybody had the big hair and, like, everything kind of flashy.
Yeah, everything was about the hair. And nowadays I'm just happy to have some, right?
Yeah, you're right. A lot don't,
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about Get It Right. You work with Jacob over at Wombat Studios. Tell me a little bit about the album.
Well, we did the whole record. We did the drums in Philly with Dave's guy. Dave is, in the industry, so he used Arthur Risk to do the drums. Arthur had done, a lot of his heavy bands. I'm not sure, like Gojira, like all those types of bands, Code Orange. And so we did the drums with him, but everything else was tracked with Dave Piron at Wombat, who is just spectacular. Not is he only an engineer, he has a musical background, so he was almost like producing and helping, because you need somebody there. And then we brought Jacob in for the vocals through Dave knew Jacob, and Jacob is like spectacular. He just pours out ideas. He took our songs from here to here, and just by changing a thing, changing a melody, changing something real little, songs were still intact, but he would just bring it to the next level. And love Jacob. Just got to reunite with him on the cruise. We just did the Monsters Rock cruise, so it was great to hang with him. And he's a special person, a wonderful person, and I can't wait to do the next record. In fact, I just spoke to Mark yesterday. Me and Mark have been writing big time for the next record. We're about 20 songs in. Who knows what'll happen? My drummer said something about we need 50. I'm like, holy cow! Like, you don't realize I work 60 hours a week, but I get done and I'm obsessed. I just get down and I feel like the creative juices are flowing again. And me and Mark said, some people love to golf, some people love to pickleball. We love to write music, and this is our hobby. And it's a shame that we can't do it full time. If I was rich, I would not work 14 hours a day, and I would just write music all day, because I love writing music. There's nothing more special about having that final product. And I said to Mark just an hour ago, I said, and the best part is this will be part of our legacy. After we're long gone, our songs will still be here.
Very true. Tell me a little bit about your teaching your students and stuff like that. Do they come in person, or is everything online?
Everything's in person, back in person. Back when Heaven's Edge got dropped by Columbia, me and my wife Lisa had a daughter who was about 5. It was panic mode, to lose your money, salary. So I ran a little ad in a magazine called Trading Times or something, which was like selling cars, but in the back they had a musician section, and I just wrote up Reggie from Heaven's Edge giving guitar lessons, and got my first 17 students, 15, 17 students, and the best thing about social media is I'm still in touch with all of them, and having looked back 31 years later, here I am still doing it. and so grateful that I have this opportunity to do it. I just sit in my house all day and play guitar. I mean, what could be better, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, make a living out of it. You know, you struggle with some families, some kids don't want to be here, but you know, I just try to keep it as fun as possible. It's 24/7 music in this house. I have a whole setup in the basement. I go down and jam with them. I'll play drums. You know, it's a lot of fun. I also teach at a Montessori, so I have preschool kids, 18-month to 5-year-olds,
Right.
and they're just wonderful. I love kids. Get along with them, and it's I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be able to do this for a living.
Cool, cool. Any of the students are making an impact in music?
A couple of them come close. I've had some killer shredders. It's funny. I was just watching my one student, Sam Gutman. His dad is the famous Dan Gutman, who wrote a lot of children's books like Miss Willie is Silly, The $1,000,000 Pitch, and all like those books. But so obviously the creativity runs in his life, and he got the gig to be Lauryn Hill's keyboard player, and his first gig was in Vegas in front of 50,000 people. I'm like, dude, you surpassed my whole career in your first gig. You know,
Yeah.
so he's doing well. His bandmates, he came from a band called Beard Space, and they're fabulous. They hold big festivals here in South Jersey. Still have yet to land the one student to get a record deal. I'm trying to help him whatever way I can. But do you even need a record deal these days? You know?
No, not really.
You know?
I think it's better off for the band because they got more control over things that happen, you know, in the band and stuff like that. You don't have to be told what to do when you know what to do.
Right, right.
So,
Well, that's what we love about Frontiers. We signed a 3-record deal with them, and they pretty much have left us all creative, everything to us, you know? And so they don't put any pressure on us. And so it's worked out so far, you know, and they get us a little bit more known to the world, you know. We're not competing with the Journeys that are on their label and the Revolution Saints with Joel and stuff, you know, but, you know, we're out there.
cool.
No expectations this time around, you know, let's just have fun. Get to go play Europe once a year, that's fine with me.
Cool. How was the cruise?
It's just, it's awesome. It's like, because that our genre has probably some of the best rock guitar players ever.
Right.
It's, you know, on one hand, it's spectacular. You go from this lounge to see Richie Kotzen to this stage to see Nuno Betancourt to Red Beach. Like everywhere, there's a killer guitar players. I mean, the best of the best. On the other hand, you know, we played one cruise and what's Richie's band, Winery Dogs. You know, they were like stage left watching the show, and I'm like, oh my God, could you not stand there? Like I can't even move my hands. But I know Richie. We go back, you know. But it's daunting to know that there's people out there watching you like that.
Cool. Now you did a benefit in Vineland?
Yes, for Brian Wolf. Brian worked with us, and he went in for some kind of procedure, and then ended up he's still in a coma, and they asked us to do the benefit. We said, of course, you know, like Brian's that's the one thing with the Heaven's Edge, like all road crew, they were like family, you know, and of course we would do that for him, and we're still praying for him, and whatever we can do to help out the family, we would always do.
Cool. Now you're also doing something in September 13th, Bourbon Street?
Yes, we're down in Maryland, in Ocean City, Maryland, just to do a gig. It's almost like a rehearsal, because we're at the Whiskey two weeks later in LA,
Right.
on the 27th. So this will be a good warm up for us just to get out to LA and make sure we're in good condition to play.
Cool. And tell me a little bit about your merch, because I saw some stuff, I think a hat and stuff like that. Tell me a little bit about
Yeah, I don't know much about the merch. I know that Jaron, our bass player, who's out with Lynch Mob right now, he handles a lot of merch. I know we have shirts. I wish I had a hat. I don't even have a hat. We were on the cruise and somebody showed me Heaven's Edge women's panties. I'm like, I didn't even know. I didn't even know about that. So I don't really know about what we have. All I know is I have the shirts stored in my thing because I was responsible for dragging this 50-pound bag on the cruise. I'm like, really? You guys gonna stick me with this job? So.
Yeah. Wow. How do you separate family from music? Like, you know, your kids got to be home most of the time where students are coming in. Is it difficult?
It is. I mean, I feel sorry for the family. My house is just the revolving door. There's always somebody here, and you know, it's hard on them, but everybody realizes this is how I make a living, you know, and you know, it's hard, and the band also rehearses here. I mean, my God, my poor wife, like we could shake the neighborhood with how loud we practice down there, you know. But it's you know, it's a blessing and a curse, but it's, you know, you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
So I mean, if I had to get up and go to a studio every day to teach, that would stink. You know, I'm much happier here. You know, I got my one dog, Bean, just passed away, but I have my dogs here. You know, my family's here, and all the kids are moved out now. I have one last son in college. He's out in California at UC Berkeley, and with Steve from Tough, with Stevie from Tough. His daughter goes there. So me and Stevie hooked up on the cruise, and you know, it's funny. We're talking Berkeley.
Wow. You know, did you ever think about a solo album, or anybody ever brought that up to you?
Yeah, I've been. People have definitely brought that up to me. I don't know. I'm not in the league of any of those guitar players that I just named, the Hulksters, the Cotsons, to do enough interesting stuff to make an all-instrumental record. And I am much more song-based anyway. I would much rather listen to a great song than just a whole album of shred. Like, I don't even listen to that. As much as I can appreciate it, the Mateo Manuscas and, like, you know, they're just killer guitar players out there, I can't listen to that all the way through. Like, I much would prefer, like, a Extreme or a Kotzen where there's a song attached to the killer solo. So, and I certainly don't sing, or at least you never want to hear me sing on a record. I'd have to get singers all around me to do a record. But, you know, maybe that'll be in the cards one day. You know, I was just watching that Robert DeLeo interview, and he just released a record, which I didn't even know about. And he got all different singers apparently to sing on his songs.
Yeah. Wow. So, he's a great bass player.
Holy cow!
I remember him when I photographed Jolyn Turner. He played bass with Joe and stuff like that. And he's great stage presence with that guy.
And just a tremendous talent. Like, I did not realize he's the songwriter of the band. You know, and he comes from a jazz background. He loves like Bill Evans, like the jazz stuff, and so that's why, like, you have those lush, plush chords. You know, like they're not your regular root fifth power chords. You know, his stuff is much more chunky, and you know, I mean, not non-chunky. It's more cool stuff. Interstate Love Song, oh my God, that's fabulous, you know?
Yeah. So tell me about the new album.
The one that we're doing? Well, right now, me and Mark, like I said, I've probably written about 20 songs. Mark's probably has lyrics to about 10 or 12 of them. And we're not trying to write for style, because I'm lousy at doing that. I'm just like, I'm not good at trying to write a Heaven's Edge song. I find that when I do that, I start falling into like all the cliches, you know. Right. Believe it or not, I do my best songwriting like cutting the lawn, like without an instrument in my hand. And you know, we're just writing stuff, whatever comes out. Like Mark just came up with a song that reminded me of Queen, you know, and I wrote a song that reminded me of. I'm working on it right now, like reminded me of. I'll play. I don't know if you can hear it. Let's see. Reminded me of Collective Soul, you know? And I just sent this to Mark. You know, so like that, it's not typical Heaven's Edge, but it's just whatever comes out. I said to Mark, whatever comes out, I'm laying it down. And we can chuck it or whatever, or I'll use it for my solo record one day.
Cool. Like when you were in Heaven's Edge, or before you were in Heaven's Edge, was there any other bands that you like auditioned for or anything like that?
I auditioned for Cinderella, and Jeff, rest in peace, tells the story about how it was me and him, and he gets there, and they're like, who wants to go first? And Jeff's like, well, hell no, I'm not going on after Reggie. I'm going on before Reggie. So what does Reggie do? He takes the chair, and puts it right in front of me and stares at me. And I'm like, dude, I would never do that. That's like not me at all. Like I would never do that to Jeff. But that's how he remembers it. And he got the gig, and rightly so, because I was in my Yingwei phase. You know, I was just all shred at that point, and it would have been like, nobody's full. As fast as I could. Didn't fit, you know. And Jeff fit the role perfectly, and he did way better than I ever would. I think that's it. I think that's the only band I ever auditioned for.
Now, when you do go out on tour, is there anything special you like to eat?
I'm the world's worst eater.
Yeah.
I no fruits or vegetables for me. I only eat. My family says I only eat stuff that starts with CH: cheesesteaks, chicken wings, chips, and Chinese food. That's it. And I get my veggies in the Chinese food. That's about it. And McDonald's is my favorite restaurant. And I could during COVID, I was just plowing through family-sized bags of Doritos. Like that's like my weakness. Is just salt. You know, Fritos, Doritos, and I lived on. I can just live on that. I moved out of my parents' house when I was 16, and I was like, I'm never eating a fruit or vegetable for the rest of my life. You know, and I just eat crap. But I am trying to turn it around a little bit because I'm getting older. I'm 61 now, and my sister did one of those DNA tests, not the DNA where you find out what countries you're from, the DNA to find out your makeup, and she says I need to turn it around or someone to pay for it, you know. Yeah. So I had a piece of broccoli the other day, and I'm like, people eat this willingly, you know. I think I had 4 peas, so I had 4 peas the other day.
Wow.
Baby steps.
You're getting there. You're getting there.
That's right.
Yeah. Is there anything coming up you want to talk about that I missed?
No, I think just if you're out in California, come out to the Whiskey Show, or if you're in Maryland, come out to that show. That'll be a lot of fun. We're just, me and Mark are big time working. And the thing I want to do with this record, I do want to say, is we want to get Steve and Jaron. Dave doesn't write, but we really want to get Steve and Jaron's input song-wise. It's always just been the Reggie and Mark show, right, where I do the music, give to Mark, he does the lyrics, and we present it to the band. This time Jaron's given us bass line ideas and song ideas. Steve gave us a couple ideas, and I converted them into songs, and now Mark has them. And I really want it to be more of from a songwriting standpoint, a band record.
Right.
So we'll see if that, it'll come down to what songs get picked at the very end, And but I do want to say that, hopefully maybe we can get in the studio after later this winter and start on the next record.
Well, Reggie, it was great talking to you. I know you got a student coming at 12.
Yes.
Would you like to talk to, tell the fans anything?
No, just thank you. It's just wonderful seeing all our fans and friends at the M3s and the Monsters of Rock and Monsters of the Mountain. It's just so great. Me and Mark were just saying, what's cool? It's like the old days where, like, we would play on the cruise and there'd be a smaller crowd, and the next cruise the crowd would be bigger, and it just keeps getting bigger. It's like you're trying to build that following again. It's like fun, but we're so grateful that everybody has stuck with us all these years, and they're like all family now, So I just want to say thank you to everybody.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Reggie. I'll talk to you later, man.
You're the best, bro. Take care, bud.
Bye-bye.
See ya.